technology because this technology that's here right now is kind of like it was for handicapped people. I use this analogy right here. If you were a football coach and you were looking at people determining, okay, you say, okay, you got big thighs, I want you to be a linebacker. You got a pretty good arm, I want you to be the quarterback. You got this person, you're going to look for certain physical qualities to determine where you're going to put them at on your football team. But if I brought a person out to you in a wheelchair and his arm didn't work and his feet didn't work, I say, okay, brother, I need you to put him on the football team also. He said, well, damn, okay. You're going to be stumped because now you're going to put him in competition with people who got limbs that can run around him, his wheelchair. You start thinking, well, damn, I just don't really know how to put him in a position where he could thrive against these people who have these gifts like this. Then they bring you two more people in a wheelchair. You say, well, damn. Then they bring you somebody who's in a gurney. He can't do nothing but move his eyeballs. You say, well, damn. You know how to develop people who don't have certain mechanisms. Then you start saying, well, damn, how do I develop them? The only way you can develop that kind of people is all the people with legs and arms. You have to totally get them off the scene and bury what they did. Then you leave the wheelchair people to develop themselves. Before you know it, they put little rockets on their wheelchair. They make their wheelchairs fly over here. They make their wheelchair spin around. And the wheelchair community looks like an advanced thing. You say, damn. And then when you come back, and your descendants come back and they see all these wheelchairs, and damn, boy, look at this wheelchair right here. And then we start trying to develop advanced wheelchairs ourselves. We start trying to develop, roller skates that can do this. Our gift was spiritual. We didn't need planes. We astro travel. We didn't need electric. And that's the thing. We have to see, we're not even thinking like that. We're starting to still think in this technologically advanced world, how do we promote it? No, we got something on the inside that is another kingdom. That's what we got to, that's where we got to start understanding that, because this world with telephones and TV, this is nothing more than what we used to do naturally. You know what I'm saying? When we were making sun, the sun is a device that sends data. But once again, and this is the question that who can make war with the beast, because the beast is money. We all need money because we want to live a certain level of comfort. So who can, I ain't got my glasses, but you got what to say?
So this is going to be one of the bills I'm putting together right now. And it's called Who Owns God? Because whoever owns God, right? And the reason I came up with this concept is Noam Chomsky, right? This white man is awesome. This man. Yeah. So he said whoever controls space controls the world.
Yeah.
Now, the primordials or melanum is just that, right? So if they control the main resource of the universe, they can't control the sun, but they can control us.
Well, they can control us into what's called the end of a cycle. We gave them that authority to have what's called, it's not, once again, we are an arrested people in terms of who we are. But we knew that we would be arrested into what's called the end of a cycle, or the return of Christ. The return of Christ is certain truths that's going to come back, because once again, our DNA is the structure that it is because of the truth that we have in us. When you take the DNA and put it in another environment, that's why I say peach trees will produce peaches if the environment is right. Apple trees will produce apples if the environment is right. I got this book called it's an old book, Genes and Inheritance. Genes and inheritance. When you understand really what's in you, see, our nature is light, but we're not performing like light. And you can arrest light potential when light does not have the right, I won't say, when the light has been altered, if you will. I can give you a 100-watt bulb. A 100-watt bulb will give you 100 watts of what's called brilliance, but it can also give you 2 watts of brilliance if you give it a certain voltage. It has potential of going 100 watts, but it also has, and what it is, we're so used to seeing ourselves operate at 2 watts until that looks like it's normal now. So when the fullness of time comes, then that full brilliance starts coming forward, and this technologically advanced world, it goes out of existence, because once again, this earth was a kingdom that we designed. So let's say when you go to the book of Genesis, drugs. I see it.
Masquerading as foods when you talk about the watts.
Oh yeah.
About yes.
Drugs
it's for the people.
Because that's the number one thing, because they found out that a Shetland pony, for example, it is only the size that it is because of the diet that it got. They found that when they gave the Shetland pony, after 3 generations, a particular diet, it grew to the size of a full-size horse. There's also something known as the agouti mice. The agouti mice is a mice that had all these abnormalities. Had yellow coat, diabetes, overweight, but all that was based on the diet. And then they gave the agouti mice what's called a rich methanol diet. Once it got the right diet, then it starts coming back to what it was. See, that's the same thing with us. The belief system that we're under right now, our genes are arrested, and they have a particular configuration based on the spiritual foods that we ate. But once again, the symbolism of Christ going in the grave, meaning that the power can be arrested for a season. But also a declaration was made that the power would return. And so that's what we're waiting on now. Not so much as a man, but waiting on this truth to start re-entering the atmosphere to make us all back into what we used to be prior to us going to sleep. And that's what they're afraid. And that's when it's been such a campaign to make sure wrong information gets on the inside. And here's the thing. I mean, it's little micro wrong information. Like they may tell you the new day starts at 12 o'clock at night. The new year starts in January. And that may seem like some insignificant stuff. But if you ever saw that movie called The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, they had to keep that little boy surrounded by evil. They keep us surrounded by these little micro lies.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite movies.
Huh?
That was one of my favorite movies, with The Golden Child.
Oh yeah, and they
started making me eat the oatmeal. I remember that.
Yeah, and they kept him surrounded by evil because they know that if they kept him surrounded by evil, he would never be able to his power would never flow. So they kept this stuff around him. That's the way they've done with us. They kept this wrong with me. And it's like, it's little stuff. You say, well, that really shouldn't hurt me. You know, me believing that the new day is at 12 o'clock at night. Me believing that the new starts January. Those micro stuff like that kind of keeps us disoriented and discombobulated. But once again, we declared that we would go to sleep for a season. That's what's called the mercy of God, or the mercy of black people, to let other people have their day in the sun. But we knew that in the fullness of time,